Good evening, everyone. I am the KnK, and this is my quickie review of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This quickie review is brought to you by Loot Crate. Like mystery boxes with cool stuff in them that you don't know what you're going to get, that you could also use as giveaways, go to lootcrate.com/KaijunoKami and get 10% off. And it's fun just to open up mystery boxes. I mean, if you go to conventions, you know how mystery boxes are. People buy them all the time and like, oh, that was cool, okay, cool. Now I'm going to give these away. That's how it works. Remember, lootcrate.com/KaijunoKami. With that in mind, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, has come out at long last. It's been 5 years since the first movie just titled Godzilla came out, and I'm going to say that I had a good time with this movie. No, it's not perfect by any means. It's nowhere near the greatest Godzilla movie ever. It's a middle-of-the-road Godzilla film, but it was a fun and enjoyable Godzilla film. It's actually what I kind of wish the 2014 movie had been. Though the characters in this movie are kind of blah. Like, there's a couple good ones. Ken Watanabe still stands out as Serizawa like he did in the first one. He's the best character in this film, just like he was in the first one. Well, if you ignore Bryan Cranston's character. We have the guy who was in Peter Jackson's remake of King Kong, playing a father. We have Millie Brown, who's 11 in Stranger Things. And then we have Vera Farmiga from the Conjuring series. This family has the biggest character shields ever. Like, things will happen and everything will happen around them, but it won't touch them because their character shields are to the max. I will say that the characters are so-so. There are some good moments. There is some great one-liners and dialogue, but overall, they're just kind of forgettable. And I have to say, it was a waste of Millie Brown's talents. Those of you that have watched Stranger Things can see what range she has in acting. Here, she doesn't get to really display any of that at all. She kind of feels like what Bryan Cranston was in the first movie, a total waste. But you know what? I will say this movie definitely excels in the monster action, which is what the vast majority wanted. However, I can also tell you, and this is why this movie is getting panned by critics, this movie is made strictly for Godzilla fans. There is so much going on in this movie, so many Easter eggs, that you have to be a fan to get it. Also, there are things that occur in this movie that only a fan would understand why it's happening. If you are not a fan of the Godzilla series, you don't know all the movies in and out, you're probably going to be left confused in a lot of scenes of this movie. Now, is that a bad thing? I don't know. If you're a Godzilla fan, you're going to be excited. If you don't like Godzilla, you have no interest in Godzilla, you're not going to enjoy this film. And I feel that is where all the critics are coming from because they're not huge Godzilla fans. This movie was made strictly for Godzilla fans, not the general audience. Like I said, a few other negative aspects is I felt like some of the things that occur in this movie were too soon for it being the second movie. I feel like there should have been maybe 4 more movies, maybe 3 movies before this with things that occur here. There's something that happens towards the end that I was just like, really? We're going that route already? That just seems kind of weird. Couldn't that be the next movie? And the other negative is the ending or their lack of. You'll see what I mean. I can't go into it because of spoilers, but that's another reason why I think critics hated this is because it is pretty much leading into Kong versus Godzilla or whatever they're going to call it. I did have a blast. The soundtrack is so much better than in the first movie because we actually have Godzilla-esque music, remixes of old Godzilla tunes, which is pretty awesome, something Shin Godzilla should have done. On the other hand, some of the sound effects are so bombastic that you can't even hear the music at times. There were times I'm like, can the sound effects tone it down so I can hear the music? Because I really want to hear this soundtrack. I want to hear this remix. The effects are cool. Ghidorah is frickin' badass. I love some of the stuff they did with Ghidorah here that you can't get away with the suit. Now, if you ask me which is better, CGI or suitmation, I would definitely go with suitmation. But with the budget they had, the amount of effort they put into this film, they definitely had them down. They are like monsters. They're like actual wild animals, which is nice. Ghidorah has his heads. You have his 3 heads, and they all like had this different personalities. They're biting at each other like animals that have multiple heads most likely would do. They're like snarling, fighting over things. It's pretty awesome. Rodan is pretty cool. I really love the Rodan design. I think it's his best design since the 56 movie. I didn't like the design for Mothra before. This movie doesn't do anything to really make me like Mothra's design now, so that's kind of a bummer. There are some cool Easter eggs with Mothra, but then again, like I already said, this movie is just full of Easter eggs. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I had a good time. As I already said, it's not the best Godzilla movie ever. It will never be the best Godzilla movie ever, but if you are a diehard Godzilla fan, you're gonna have a good time, and that's what matters most of all. Lastly, I do want to tell you there is a post-credits scene, so make sure you sit through the credits. It's kind of a cool scene. I kind of have ideas where the next movie's going to go, and there's more I wish I could talk about, but that's about as much as I can do without going into spoiler territory. Overall, I'm going to give the movie a solid 8 out of 10 stars. Tell me what you think of the film if you've already seen it. Are you looking forward to it? What do you want to see in the sequel? Make sure if you're going to post comments about stuff that happens in the movie, give a spoiler warning for those that might not have seen the movie yet. And until next time, bye.